What's up, guys? This is Renegade, and welcome back to RGR. As always, if you have any recommendations on how the game rating system can change, or if you have any recommendations for games that I should play and try out, just let me know in the comments. Now, let's get into it. Today, I'll be reviewing and rating. Alright, let's talk about Bioshock Infinite. So this has been a pretty good trilogy. It's real nostalgic. I've never played the Bioshock games before now, but I've always heard about it growing up. I just never got around to playing them. But that's how you know a game is very popular and carries a lot of love with it. These games are 15 years old now. And they're still being talked about and loved by many. So that's how I knew it'd be a good trilogy when I was getting into it. Now, I'd normally prefer a series where I play as the same character, but this works well. You play a different character in all three games, but they still do a good job with it, in my opinion. Alright, let's get into it. So, we have gameplay. This has the best gameplay itself, in my opinion, out of the three. It just feels the most modern, better gunplay. You got the dual wield. It's just faster, more modern pace, which is what I prefer. So, I had the most fun gameplay wise. So gameplay gets a 7 out of 10. Now, there's no multiplayer co-op to speak of, so we'll skip through that. Story. So the story is kind of confusing. You play as Burker DeWitt, and you're taken to this lighthouse where you get shot up into the sky into the city of Columbia, and you're tasked with finding Elizabeth. And Columbia is ran by the prophet Zachary Comstock, and honestly, this game, I would have had no idea that this was a Bioshock game until the very end. Like, everything's different. You're in a different city, different characters. The powers are now called vigors instead of plasmids, so it's very confusing. Like, if you just gave this to somebody and let them play it, I don't think they'd have any idea it was a Bioshock game until now. The end kind of brings it all together and shows that it's a Bioshock game, which it's very cool. It's a very confusing ending, but very cool, very good all the same. I enjoyed the story a lot. It's probably second out of the three in my opinion. I think first game still had the best story, and then this one, and then Bioshock 2. Now, I give the story a 7.5 out of 10. Replayability, this is the only one out of the three that just had one ending. There's really no replayability, so replayability does not get a rating here. Monetary value, this is where it takes a little bit of a dip for me. So I had about 11 hours in this game. Now, I got it for free because of PlayStation Extra, but Steam is showing it at $30 currently for a 13-year-old game, I believe. 12 to 13-year-old game. I just don't believe a game that old should be $30. So that comes out to $2.72 per hour of gameplay. And just for a game this old, I can't justify it being $30 still. Like 15 maybe, 10. But $30 seemed a little bit outrageous for the price. I've kept bouncing around between giving it a 5 and a 6, so monetary value gets a 5.5 out of 10. Now, fun. It's overall fun because that's what matters. That's got to be a category because that's what's most important with gaming. And I had the most fun out of the three with this game. Just playing the game, it was, in my opinion, the most fun to play. Did it have the best story? No. But it was just gameplay wise for me and all around the most fun. Now, this with compared to one, this was the closest to one. They both blew Bioshock 2 out of the water, in my opinion. But the great story, and as cheap as one was, it just, that's why it got the highest rating out of these three. One just had the most to offer for the least amount of price. So fun gets a 7 out of 10. Now that will bring the overall rating to a 6.75 out of 10, which would put Bioshock 1 at the top, and Bioshock Infinite, and Bioshock 2 at the bottom for me with this trilogy. This was a fun trilogy to play through, and I'm glad that it was a recommendation. It was good to experience this. And thank you for sticking with me this far. And let me know if you have any suggestions in the comments on how to make the channel better or how to make the rating system better. Thank you. I'll catch you in the next one.